we're starting the majlis, I would request all the kids on the behind the curtain and everybody who's actually outside, please come inside the hall. We're starting the majlis right now. Bar Muhammad wali Muhammad salawat.
bar Muhammad wali Muhammad salawat. رن کو جاتے ہوئے سر جھکائے ہوئے شہ نے رو کر کہا الوداع 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 آیا وقت سفر اے بہن آج ہم ہو رہے ہیں جدا الوداع 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 شاہ بڑھ کر بہن کے گلے لگ گئے اور دکھیا بہن سے یہ کہنے لگے میری مظلوم پیاسی مسافر بہن تیرا حافظ خدا الوداع 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 جس سے ڈرتی تھی تم وہ گھڑی آ گئی دیکھو چاروں طرف تیرگی چھا گئی تیرگی چھا گئی دشت پر ہال میں شام ہونے کو ہے لو مسافر چلا الوداع 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 لے کے بالی سکینہ کو آغوش میں ننھے ننھے سے ہاتھوں کے بوسے لیے رو کے بوسے لیے شہن حسرت سے بیٹی کو تکتے ہوئے آہ بڑھ کر کہا الوداع 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 بولا بیمار بیٹے سے آقا میرا اب نہ آئے گئے بیٹا بابا تیرا بیٹا بابا تیرا موت کی آندھیاں تیز ہونے لگیں آ رہی ہے صدا الوداع 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 آیا خیمے سے باہر جو مولا میرا بھائی بیٹا بھتیجا کوئی بھی نہ تھا ہاں کوئی بھی نہ تھا ایک حسرت سے چاروں طرف دیکھ کر شین رو کر کہا الوداع 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 ایسا ماتم کرو ایسا ماتم کرو پاک بی بی کہیں مرحبا 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 خون گل ہوئے ایک ایک زخم سے آج آئی صدا الوداع 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 رن کو جاتے ہوئے سر جھکائے ہوئے شہ نے رو کر کہا الوداع 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 الوداع.
جب ردا سر سے چھینی میں صدا دیکھتی رہی تو نہ آیا غازی آل عمران نے کہا اور زندان نے کہا یہ بہن قید ہوئی ہم کو پانی نہ ملے تیری خوشبو تو رہے تیرے بازو نہ کٹے چاہے مشکی زچیدے یہ مگر ہو نہ سکا تیرے بازو ہے جدا مجھ پہ ہے تشنہ تو نہ آیا غازی دھوپ میں دھو تھا شجر تجھ سے آباد تھا گر ہے برہنہ میرا سر کیا نہیں تجھ کو خبر اے علمدار وفا اس بہن کو باخدا تجھ سے دھاڑاس تھی بڑی تو نہ آیا غازی آ گئی شام علم مٹ گئے اہل حرم ریت پر جلتی ہوئی ہو گیا ٹھنڈا علم پرسہ دینے کے لیے مجھ سے ملنے کے لیے آ گئے بابا علی تو نہ آیا غازی جب ردا سر سے چھنی میں صدا دیکھتی رہی تو نہ آیا غازی. صلوات.
got a poem, Salawat. In every heart, Hussein has a revolution. I speak to you of a love greater than love. He falls a dreamer's falling star from above, and he perches upon the heart like a dove. His wings like the daybreak around it open. Though for freedom within a battle he fought, of an internal revolution he taught. The perfection of man selflessly he sought. In a free world, each of us was his vision. His tale is much more than just a mere story. It has treasures in it that lead to glory. And he who knows Hussein does not know worry, the answer to each worry he's been given. There is no one who achieved what he achieved, for he challenged death, and death he then deceived. Now people of all ages for him have grieved. Where can you find such love and dedication? A love such that builds a crown out of its pride, telling the world that Hussein his death defied. They say he's dead, it answers, he never died. And he's the crown on the head of creation. It is not something small to know of his name, or to flutter like a moth within his flame. The only love where your actions none would blame, for his love itself is a resolution. Salawat.
One quick private announcement. Tonight after Husseini Majalis, there is a house majlis at the residence of Brother Wizarat Kohar in Carroll Stream at 10 p.m. All Mu'minin are requested to attend. Tonight is the last majlis of these 5 majalis series with our guest speaker, Sheikh Muhammad Al-Hilli from UK. On behalf of IEC Husseini community and IEC Husseini management, I would like to extend our deepest and sincere gratitude to Sheikh Muhammad Al-Hilli for being here for these nights and addressing these majalis. For Sheikh Muhammad Al-Hilli's service to our community, I would like a loud salawat. Without any further ado, I would request Sheikh Muhammad Al-Hilli to the member with a loud salawat. Just a quick note, after Urdu Majlis tonight, Ziyarat of Tabut Imam Zainul Abidin will be in the newer building. Thanks. So.
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين نحمده ونستعين به ونتوكل عليه والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء وسيد المرسلين خاتم النبيين سيدنا وحبيب قلوبنا وشفيع ذنوبنا أبي القاسم محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المطهرين المكرمين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين من أول يوم ظلمهم إلى قيام يوم الدين السلام عليك سيدي ومولاي يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. قال الله العظيم في كتابه الكريم وهو أحسن القائلين وأصدق الصادقين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله ولتنظر نفس ما قدمت لغد واتقوا الله إن الله خبير بما تعملون. آمنا بالله صدق الله العلي العظيم. For the purification of the souls, the enlightenment of the hearts, for the hastening of the reappearance of the awaited Savior, Ajrallahu Ta'ala Farajuh Sharif, enlighten your souls and the atmosphere with the recitation of salawat upon Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Respected elders, brothers and sisters, Salamun Alaikum wa Rahmatullahi Ta'ala wa Barakatuh. The history of mankind has witnessed a number of important sermons and speeches delivered that have had a significant impact upon the lives of human beings. If each and every one of us is to be asked, what kind of sermon or speech have you come across that has truly affected your life? Or you've heard about historically that people are able to recognize. Some of us are able to recall some important sermons delivered by politicians, delivered by religious individuals, delivered by human rights activists, which stand to be amongst the most famous sermons that have ever been delivered, or at least in contemporary times. Some of us here in the United States undoubtedly will be able to recall the famous sermon or a speech given by Martin Luther King, in which he spoke about a dream that he has for civil liberty and the equal rights when it comes to the citizens, whether black or white. Similarly, we have sermons and speeches by leaders such as Mahatma Gandhi. Likewise, you have, for example, others like Nelson Mandela famously gave a speech in regards to fighting and standing against apartheid. The idea of giving sermons is something that has been established for hundreds of years, in that people often are drawn into the way in which an individual and the message that they are seeking to disseminate and to deliver towards people. Indeed, when you and I examine the biography and the life of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, when it comes to the biography of the Holy Prophet, you've recognized that he was also an individual who gave a number of sermons. He was delivering a number of speeches and talks. This was happening across, of course, the city of Medina throughout the last 10 years of his blessed life, in that people would gather. Sometimes the sermons would be delivered, of course, on the day of Friday. Sometimes it would be unannounced. Sometimes it would be to highlight a factor or an aspect in the life of human beings or the people in Medina that was necessarily wrong. Like, for example, one day, Bilal al-Habashi, Ridwanullahi ta'ala alayh, is asked by Rasulullah, recite the adhan. It wasn't the time for Dhuhr or Asr. It wasn't time for Fajr or Maghrib or Isha. People were about to do their own day-to-day tasks. The mu'adhin of the Prophet recites the adhan. When he recites the adhan, the Prophet sits on the minbar and asks, and of course the community all gather. They wonder what's going on. The Prophet would then address them. And he would say, I have heard that some of you are not respecting your wives or your family members. Yes? Let me tell you this, he says to them, خَيْرُكُمْ لِأَهْلِهِ. The best amongst you is the best when it comes to treating his family members. Then he says, وَأَنَا خَيْرُكُمْ لِأَهْلِهِ. And I am the best in treating my family. Yes? The Prophet of Islam would give this sermon to highlight a problem in society, a practice which perhaps must have been addressed. You look at Nahj al-Balagha, Amir al-Mu'mineen wa Imam al-Muttaqeen, Ali ibn Abi Talib, salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi. 240 sermons are found in Nahj al-Balagha, which highlights what? How many times Amir al-Mu'mineen would deliver sermons, would give speeches. Similarly, you look at the Holy Second Imam, you look at Sayyid al-Shuhada, Abu Abdullah al-Husayn as well, salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi. How many times did you hear and did you read on the 10th of Muharram, Abu Abdullah standing on the plains of Karbala, addressing the army of Yazid, speaking to them, trying to reason with them. On his way to Karbala, on the different areas that he stopped, he often would give a sermon. He often would give a speech. On the 10th of Muharram itself, in the morning, he had a number of monumental, important sermons that detailed the purpose of his mission, whom he was. He was trying to awaken the conscience of the people. He was trying to present to them evidence. He would say to them, look at me. I am wearing the turban of the Prophet. I have the sword of Rasulullah. I am wearing the cloak of the Prophet. Do you have a reason to shed my blood? Have I taken anything away from you? Have I usurped anything that belongs to you? Have I hurt you in any way? Have I killed any one of you? Yes? He would ask them, ask people, is there a grandson of the Prophet in the entire world other than me? Yes. These and much more had impact upon certain individuals like Al-Hurr ibn Yazid al-Riyah, radwanullahi ta'ala alayhi. It wasn't that all of a sudden he decided that he will join the path of righteousness and salvation and enter Jannah, whereas in fact he was in Jahannam. Yes? He had the sermons of the Imam and he was influenced and inspired by the beautiful words of the grandson of the Holy Prophet. Hence you find that when it comes to sermons, they have a very important role to play when it comes to the lives of human beings and importantly the change that occurs in our lives. But interestingly, one of the most crucial sermons delivered in Islamic history was one by our fourth Imam, Zayn al-Abidin al-Sajjad, Ali ibn al-Husayn, salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi. This sermon was given in the courtyard of Yazid in Sham. Why is this sermon important? It's a sermon that is significant for a number of reasons. First of all, it's considered to be the first majlis aza. What do you mean? Because indeed we are told that when it came to this sermon, it was not only a speech, but it also contained the masa'ib of what happened on the 10th of Muharram. That the Imam alayhi salam is not fazed by the fact that there is a tyrant sitting there, that the majority of people are expressing animosity and hatred towards the Ahlulbayt. Yet he comes and what? And delivers this incredibly beautiful, elegant presentation before the masses. Yes? And number two, it is a sermon which highlighted a number of spiritual, historical, and social elements of significance and highlighting also the problem that the society used to live in at that time. I would like to look at this sermon. I would like to seek and extrapolate lessons from this sermon of our holy fourth Imam as we have gathered to honor and to remember the anniversary of his Shahada, seeking to be inspired by his light and following on his footsteps, because indeed that is the message of the Holy Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in the Holy Quran, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu attaqullah wa kunu ma'as sadiqeen. O you who believe, express God consciousness and be with the truthful. The Quran does not say here, be amongst the truthful. The Quran says, identify who the truthful are and follow them. Yes? There are no groups of people who displayed steadfastness, trustworthiness, truthfulness like Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad salawatullahi wa salam alayhi ajma'een. And there is no doubt when Imam Zayn al-Abidin stands with such valor, with such courage, with such determination, and he delivers this sermon, there is absolutely no doubt in our minds that this sermon is no shape or form only for that particular group of people. Because the Ahlulbayt alayhum salam are groups of people who seek guidance for all of mankind. And their message is eternal till the day of judgment. Hence we are told what? It was at the beginning of the month of Safar. And it was in this gathering known as Majlis, because a Majlis in Arabic known as a gathering. So Yazid al-La'in was there. There were people who were there, Roman ambassador, others, Christian advisor, yes, Sir John, and others were there. We are told that the Ahlul Bayt were chained and they were presented before these group of people who were there. All of a sudden, Yazid asked a man to stand up and speak. This man stood up and began to curse Amir al-Mu'mineen. He began to speak vile of the commander of the faithful. Yes. All of a sudden, when he started to do that, Imam Zayn al-Abidin stood up. He said to him, Wayhak, how dare you? You are purchasing the pleasure of this dunya and are selling your akhirah. How dare you say something like this? Yes. Then he looked at Yazid. Then he says to him, give me permission to speak, because what I'm about to say pleases Allah and benefits mankind. This statement is of great importance that I would like to draw your attention towards. How many lectures and sermons and majalis we have heard in our lives? How many? There are, mashallah, amongst us, some of the mu'mineen, some of our elders, may Allah bless them. They have attended so many majalis in their lives, probably in the last 40 years. Across the world, from India, Pakistan, from different parts of the United States, yes, until they're here in Chicago, they have listened to so many majalis, they have listened to so many sermons, yes. And by the way, when it comes to honoring the elders of the community, sometimes some of our youngsters, they have this tendency to think that the elders of the community, because they don't have a Facebook account, they're outdated, yes. Just because they're not necessarily savvy when it comes to technology, they're not connected, or they should not be respected. Far from it. When it comes to religion of Islam, we are told that when it comes to the elders, they must be honored and respected. Often we are told that the seat must be given to them before ourselves. Often we are told that you must not supersede them when they're walking with you. You must not go before them. Often we are told that you must smile with them, respect them, honor them, understand that they've sacrificed a lot for you and I to be able to sit here and have a majlis of Abu Abdullah. That they have come to establish these beautiful centers and beautiful places of the remembrance of Ahlul Bayt. And therefore they deserve much respect in this regard, no doubt, yes? When it comes to this, what do we ask? We ask this question, how many majalis we've heard in our lives? Imam Zayn al-Abidin comes and gives us the constitution for a good majlis. He tells us, if you want to know a speech, a sermon is good or not, see if it has two things. It pleases Allah and it's beneficial for mankind. This is the barometer. This is the criteria. Next time you're in a majlis, any language, English, Urdu, Swahili, Hindi, Farsi, Arabic, whatever the language is, you are in a majlis. Yes? You want to know, is this majlis good or not? Yes? The barometer according to the Imam who is ma'soom is, it must be something that Allah is pleased with. And it must be something that you walk out from the door saying, I have learned something. Yes? Imam alayhi salam is saying, that is how the majlis should be. That is how a sermon should be. That is how a lecture should be. Yes? It's a message primarily to those who deliver the message, to deliver sermons. Yes? Because sometimes some of us believe that I sit there and I can speak whatever I wish. Or I talk about things which are irrelevant. Once, we are told in Iran, there was a zakir, went to a village. Yes? He gave a lecture in which he described hydrogen and oxygen molecules. And he spent like 10-15 minutes talking about this. Yes. When he finished, this villager did not understand what the sermon is about. He came to him. He said, Maulana, I have a question. I really don't understand. Which one was with Yazid and Imam Hussein? Hydrogen or oxygen? The idea sometimes is we have to know how we deliver the message and how influential it is. How practical it is to the lives of human beings. It should be that they are able to take lessons and apply to their lives in the 21st century whilst living in America. It should be something very relevant to them. It should strengthen their iman. It should get them closer to the Ahlulbayt. It should not confuse them. It should not increase misconceptions. The member should not be where people spew out all kinds of ideas that place doubt in the hearts of our youth. It should be an institution which strengthens their iman and yaqeen in Allah and gets them closer to Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. A message that Imam alayhi salam is sending is, when you sit on the minbar, recognize this. Is Allah pleased what you are saying? Is everything you're saying, yes, something that is in line with Sharia, that is in line with the religion of Islam? Is it that you're coming up with your own whimsical desires and trying to bring here and there to try and appease yourself or certain individuals? Yes. And likewise, are we attempting to produce and to give information and knowledge that is truly practical and beneficial when it comes to the believers, when it comes to those who have come to indeed learn from the ulum of the Ahlulbayt alayhum as-salam. When it came to this, Imam alayhi salam looked at what? Imam alayhi salam looked at Yazid and said, I want to give a sermon. Yazid said, no way. I will never give you a chance. Those around him said, oh, Amir, and so on. Yes, why don't you let him? He's going to speak. He is what? A man who is being held and he's a captive. What is he going to say? You know, sometimes the haqq emerges and even the enemies of Ahlul Bayt know the status of who the Ahlul Bayt are. You know what Yazid says? He says, أُولَٰئِكَ أَهْلُ بَيْتٍ زُقُّ الْعِلْمَ زَقًّا. They are Ahlul Bayt that have indeed drenched themselves in knowledge. Yes. They are very knowledgeable people. Yazid says, I know if I give him a chance, then he says, I know if he will speak, he will destroy me, he will destroy Bani Umayyah and Ali Abi Sufyan. Yazid said, I know. Yes, but subhanallah, when Allah wishes to do something, no matter who objects, it doesn't matter. Yes? وَيَمْكُرُونَ وَيَمْكُرُ اللَّهُ وَاللَّهُ خَيْرُ الْمَاكِرِينَ. They plot and Allah plots, but Allah is the best of planners. So we are told that Yazid was under pressure. He allowed the Imam alayhi salam. And indeed, when the Imam came to deliver the sermon, the first thing that he would say is, أَيُّهَا النَّاسِ أُعْطِينَا سِتًّا وَفُضِّلْنَا بِسَبْعٍ. We were given 6 things and we were honored with 7 things. Yes. Imam alayhi salam begins to identify who he is. Because just picture the situation in Sham. Just understand the socio-political circumstances in that area. People were being brainwashed by the Bani Umayyah propaganda machine that the Ahlul Bayt, that Amir al-Mu'mineen, that anyone associated with them were deviants, were individuals who were outlaws. Yes, that the naming of the children when it comes to Ali, Hassan and Hussein was forbidden. Someone in Sham at the time of Muawiyah said, I came and I saw one household, he had decided to name his sons Hassan and Hussein. I was surprised. I had not seen a single household in Sham being named Hassan and Hussein or given their children names Hassan and Hussein. So I decided, he was a traveler. He said, I decided to go in and ask the person. I said to him, how come you've named your sons Hassan and Hussein? He said, there is a reason. He said, what? He said, I have a problem. He said, what's the problem? He said, often when I speak, I am angry and I curse. Therefore, I named my sons Hassan and Hussein because I curse a lot so that I curse them. Do you see the extent of hatred that existed in Sham? Yes. When the Ahlul Bayt entered, this is not a normal city. It's filled with rage against Amir al-Mu'mineen and the Ahlul Bayt. Therefore, the task for the 4th Holy Imam is to first of all get people to understand and link who the Ahlul Bayt in reality are. Yes. It was only 50 years after the wafat of the Holy Prophet. It was only 50 years after the Prophet of Islam had left this world. Yes, it was not hundreds and hundreds of years. But look at how influential these individuals, Bani Umayyah, and their money and their fear mechanism that they placed in the hearts of people. Imam alayhi salam comes forward and says what? He says, أُعْطِينَا الْعِلْمِ. First thing he says is, we are the Ahlulbayt that have been given knowledge. This knowledge that is ladunni from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ladunni means placed in their hearts. This knowledge that is unshakable. Yes. This knowledge that is unmatchable. This knowledge that even their enemies recognized. This knowledge that was unique in many ways. Because you look at each and every member of the Ahlulbayt and you recognize their extensive ilm. In which way? We are told that, for example, when it comes to Amir al-Mu'mineen, Ali ibn Abi Talib, salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi. A man from Khawarij once came to him, and there were a group of 10 Khawarij. They decided that they go and ask Amir al-Mu'mineen a question. Because they said, we heard the Prophet of Islam says, Ana madinatul ilmi wa aliyun babuha. I am the gate, I am the city of knowledge, and Ali is the gate. They said, let's go and ask him a question. Let's see how he answers. Yes? He goes and asks Amir al-Mu'mineen, what is better, wealth or knowledge? Amir al-Mu'mineen says knowledge. He says, why? He says, the knowledge, the more you learn, yes, the more your heart becomes purer. Whereas wealth, the more you acquire it, the more the danger for your heart to become darker and indeed harder. He comes back, another person comes and asks him, Ya Ali, should I be acquiring ilm or should I be looking for knowledge? Amir al-Mu'mineen says, look for knowledge. Because the more knowledge you have, the more friends you have, the more wealth you have, the more enemies you will have. Yes. He returned. A third person came and said, Ya Ali, should I be a knowledgeable person or a wealthy person? Amir al-Mu'mineen said, seek ilm. Why? Because the more you spend ilm, the more it increases. The more you spend wealth, the more it decreases. Each and every one of them would come and Amir al-Mu'mineen would give them a different answer. The same answer, but a different explanation. They all came back. The final person came, got the answer. Amir al-Mu'mineen said, before you go, let me tell you, if you continue to come back and forth until the day of judgment, until I am alive, I'll give you a different answer. So, don't test the knowledge of Ali ibn Abi Talib. Yes? It is not for individuals to recognize this. That is why what? That is why a man came to the second Khalifa and asked him a question, a Jewish man. He said, tell me that which God doesn't have and that which God doesn't is not from God. Yes? He struggled. He said, what do you mean God doesn't have? God has everything. Yes. I don't know. Yes. I don't know what the answer is. He said, who can ask? Who can answer? They said, there is one man who has the knowledge. Yes. Abu al-Hasan, Ali. He said, fine, send him. This man went to Amir al-Mu'mineen. Do you know what the riwayah said? This Jewish man entered and asked Amir al-Mu'mineen. He said, I have a question that no one from your Muslim community is able to answer. Yes? I want to ask you. Before he asked the question, Amir al-Mu'mineen looks at him and says, Ala al-Khabiri asabt. You have come to the right person now. You have come to the right person. I will be able to answer your question. Yes? He asks him, what is it that God doesn't have and what is it that God doesn't make or is not from God? Amir al-Mu'mineen says, God does not have a son. Yes. He does not have a child. Yes. It's not something that can be ascribed to Allah. He said, that which does not come from God is evil. It's not from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yes. He said, very well, this is excellent. This is what I was looking for. The idea is that the Ahlulbayt alayhim as-salam are the ones who indeed split the knowledge, are the ones who give this ulum, these teachings. And indeed we are inspired when it comes to following these group of individuals. They are indeed unparalleled in this. Imam Zayn al-Abidin says, al-ilm wal-hilm. Hilm means what? Forbearance. What is forbearance? Forbearance is not only being patient, and when there is a hardship, an individual does not respond with vengeance and vendetta. Hilm means that they transform this process and be able to reciprocate in a manner which is honorable. Please understand this. There was a man by the name of Husham ibn Ismail. He was the governor of Medina at the time of Abdul Malik ibn Marwan. Yes? When he was in Medina, he hated the Ahlulbayt. He tormented the Ahlulbayt. He used to send la'na upon Amir al-Mu'mineen. He used to hurt Imam Zayn al-Abidin. He used to do whatever he can to make life difficult for the fourth Imam. When After Abdul Malik, who came? Umar ibn Abdul Aziz came and became the Khalifa. Yes? Umar ibn Abdul Aziz had a good relationship with the Ahlulbayt. He is the one who returned Fadak to the Ahlulbayt. Yes? He is the one who stopped the cursing of Amir al-Mu'mineen from the minbar. And he replaced this Husham ibn Ismail from Medina. But before he replaced him, he said, I want him to be pinned on the wall in Medina. And I want anyone whom he abused to come and abuse him back. He deserves it. Yes? So he was pinned on the wall in Medina. And people would come and speak about him in his face. Yes? Imam Zayn al-Abidin alayhi salam one day would walk past and he would see this man. This man looks at Imam Zayn al-Abidin. He knows that I have hurt him so much. I have done so much to injure his feelings. Do you know what Imam alayhi salam says to him? He says to him, is there anything that you need? Can I provide you with whatever you need? One narration says he said to his servant, please go and get him water and food. Allahu Akbar. Wallahi, if I sit here for 1,000 years and I say this, it is not the same as actually doing it. Doing it is so much harder than saying it. I could say, yes, let us reciprocate bad with good. But when someone hurts you and you are the grandson of the Prophet and you have the haqq to reciprocate, you don't reciprocate. Not only are you patient, but you return the bad with good and you treat him so kindly. What does this say about your beauty and your excellence? Yes. Such is the holy fourth Imam. Yes? أوتينا العلم والحلم والفصاحة. Fasaha means what? Eloquence. That when we speak, it penetrates the hearts of people. Yes? It influences people. And this was evident when Sayyida Zainab, salawatullahi wa salamu alayha, when she gave a sermon in Kufa, when she spoke in Sham, people said, this is Ali ibn Abi Talib speaking. Yes. Such eloquence, such beautiful presentations and words that were mesmerizing. أوتينا العلم والحلم والفصاحة والشجاعة. We are brave individuals. Yes, we are people with courage, with conviction. We are people who demonstrate what? Demonstrate at all times this strength, irrespective of circumstances. Because I tell you, a man once came and threatened the holy fourth Imam, Imam Zayn al-Abidin al-Sajjad, salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi. Indeed, it was Yazid ibn Muawiyah according to narrations, because when he saw the Imam, he said, who is this? They said, this is Ali ibn al-Hussein. He said, didn't Allah kill Ali ibn al-Hussein? Imam replied, he said, no, I have a brother by the name of Ali ibn al-Hussein. People killed him. Yes. قَتَلَهُ النَّاسِ. People killed him. But then all of a sudden, Yazid said, then that means we should kill you. Imam would look at him and says, أَفَبِالْمَوْتِ تُخَوِّفُنِي? Do you think you're scaring me with your declaration or statement to say that I should be killed? Do you not know? Do you not aware? الْمَوْتُ لَنَا عَادَةٌ وَكَرَامَتُنَا مِنَ اللَّهِ الشَّهَادَةِ. That death for us is normal, but the honor that Allah graces us is martyrdom. Yes. It's an honor for us to be able to attain this martyrdom. The Imam alayhi salam says what? He says these qualities include وَالْمَحَبَّةَ فِي قُلُوبِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. Yes. Samaha is number 5. Samaha means that what? We quickly forgive people. We are people who are flexible in life. Yes. Let me give you the story. In the battle of Harra, in the year 63 after Hijrah, in the month of the Hijjah, Yazid, you see anybody today, wallah, I do not understand. I struggle to fathom the idea that a man who is today disgraced but is loved by millions of Muslims in India stands what? And says Yazid radiya, yes, and praises Yazid and does not understand the filth of this individual. Wallah, anyone who says this Yazid, whatever, may Allah resurrect him on the day of judgment with Yazid. Yes. Because if a man who is so-called memorized the Quran and is very well versed in Hindu texture and scripture and stands there and tries to guide people towards the religion of Islam, what is the point of the guidance of people to Islam is if your leader and the one whom you love is a wretched man like Yazid. And if you are disputing the element of the massacre of Karbala, and if you are blaming it on Umar bin Sa'ad and Ubaidullah bin Ziyad, what can you say about the army that Yazid sent, which Sunni and Shia have no doubt about? In the year 63 after Hijrah, he sent 1,000 soldiers who went into Medina, who violated the sanctity of the city, who raped 1,000 women, who killed hundreds of the Sahaba and thousands of the people, whose horses and dogs urinated on the member of the Holy Prophet. What can you say about that? Then your army goes to where? To a Kaaba, sends catapults of fire and destroys the Kaaba. What do you say to that? How can you be saying anything about this man? And the Mufti of Saudi today, Mufti of Saudi said the same thing. Go on YouTube, he said the same thing. He said, we can't say anything about Yazid because people chose him. He's a Khalifa. He's a Khalifa and he's a Muslim. Yes. Allah made him a Khalifa and he's a Muslim. Wallah, when an individual is away from the Ahlulbayt, they do not know their way of distinguishing haqq from batil. There is no this furqan. You see, the Quran is called furqan. Furqan means the ability to distinguish what is right and what is wrong. When you're not in that path, you're not able to distinguish and to stand with the truth. Hence what? Hence in this battle of Harra, there was a man by the name of Marwan ibn al-Hakam. Marwan was arch enemy of Rasulullah. Do you know what Marwan used to do? Marwan was his father, Al-Hakam ibn As, used to speak against the Prophet of Islam. The Prophet of Islam expelled him, yes? He was expelled and him, Marwan, outside where? Outside Mecca and outside Medina. The first Khalifa and the second Khalifa, they did not allow him to come back. Uthman ibn Affan returned him back. Yes? Nepotism. There was a lot of what? There was a lot of looking after these particular individuals. They were returned back. Marwan ibn Hakam was somebody whom when Yazid said, make sure you take the bay'ah from Hussein, and Al-Walid ibn Aqba was there in the gathering when Imam alayhi salam was there in Medina, Marwan said, don't let him leave until he gives you bay'ah, otherwise behead him. Yes. He was there. And Imam al-Hussein looks at him, what? And speaks strongly against him. And then he calls Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas and the horsemen, they come and take Imam alayhi salam out in the famous incident at the beginning of the movement of the Imam. Yes, Marwan was the architect who hated the Ahlulbayt. What happened in the battle of Harra, when he saw the army of Yazid approach, he was scared for his life and his life of the life of his family. So what did he decide? He said that I'm going to go out of Medina, but I can't take my family with me because I don't know where to take them. Outside Medina, I may be remaining in the deserts or in the mountainous regions, yes? So he went to Abdullah ibn Umar ibn al-Khattab, yes? Abdullah, the son of the second Khalifa. He knocked on the door. He said, I'm leaving Medina. I know you're a respectful figure in Medina. Can I leave my family with you? Abdullah says, no way. You go away. He shut the door on his face and said, I'm not interested. Because anybody who takes the family of Marwan in their house risks being attacked. Lest Yazid's army say, why are you protecting the army of this Marwan whom he had disputes with? Yes? Marwan was stuck. He said, where should I take my wife and my daughters and my family? They said to him, what about the house of generosity? He said, what do you mean? They said, what about the house of magnanimity? He said, what do you mean? They said, what about the house of kindness and forgiveness? He says, what do you mean? They said, the house of Ali ibn al-Husayn Zayn al-Abidin. Yes. Go to that house. And you know, sometimes enemies of Ahlulbayt, they are so into this world of their own, but they do recognize the greatness of the Ahlulbayt. So, you know, sometimes some of us will say, I feel embarrassed because I don't like him or he's not my friend. How can I go and ask him? No, he went, he knocked on the door. Imam alayhi salam opens. What do you want, Marwan? He said, I've come to bring my family. Can you take them and look after them? I don't know where to bring them. I don't know where to take them. Imam says, very well, bring them. He brings his family and leaves them in the house of Imam Zayn al-Abidin for a period of 2 months approximately, when this battle was taking place, yes? Or less. He later returns, takes his wife and takes his family and asks them, how is the treatment in the house of Ali ibn al-Husayn? They reply, Wallah, we have never been honored in our lives like these 2 months. We have never been looked after and respected as much as we have been in this period of time. Can you imagine the extent of the kindness? Imam says, was-samaha. We are people who forgive easily. And by the way, when the Imam says these qualities exist in us, and we claim to be the Shia of al-Sajjad and the Shia of al-Kadhim and the Shia of al-Taqi and Naqi, and we are the Shia of Amir al-Mu'mineen Hassan and Hussein, these must reflect in us in as much possible fraction in our lives. Yes? If the Imam says we have been given ilm, we should seek ilm. When Imam says we are the people of eloquence, we should seek eloquence. If the Imam alayhi salam is saying we are the people who forgive, let's seek this forgiveness. I tell you that many a times this notion of forgiveness doesn't exist in our communities. In which way? That we are told people have severed their relationship with others. They don't speak with family members for years. Why? Inheritance issues. Issues because, oh, you did not say salam to me at that time. Or you did not marry. Amazing how sometimes we see our ulama lead by example. Ayatullah al-Uzma al-Khu'i, Ridwanullahi ta'ala alayh. May Allah bless his soul. He marja' al-taqleed for the Shia. Do you know what happened? His brother came forward and wanted to marry his son, the son of his brother, to Sayyid al-Khu'i's daughter, his cousins. He said, I want my son to marry your daughter. Sayyid al-Khu'i discovered back in the time that they used to suckle the babies and they used to give it to a few wet nurses. It was difficult to, for the mother to do it. He used to give it to the same wet nurse. He discovered that the same wet nurse had suckled his daughter as well as his nephew. So they can't really get married. Yes? They are mahram to each other, so to speak, already. But he did not wish to create this problem with his brother by explaining this and his brother saying, no, let's prove it. He said, out of ihtiyat, let me apologize. So he came to his brother and said, I'm so sorry. That's not going to happen. Yes, I can't do it. His brother took it very badly. He said, how can you not marry your daughter to my son? He severed his relationship with Ayatullah al-Khu'i. He said, I'm not speaking to you anymore. Yes. He would not speak to him and he severed his relationship. Do you know what a marja' does here? Does a marja' say, I'm a marja', I'm sitting at home, how dare him? Let him come and say sorry to me. Yes? Ayatullah al-Khu'i for weeks, if not months, according to one of the sons of the current Maraja in Najaf. Yes? The son of Ayatullah Sheikh Ismail, Sheikh Ishaq Fayyad, Hafidahullah, he said this story to me. He said, and Ayatullah Ishaq Fayyad was very close to Ayatullah Khu'i. Yes? He said that for weeks, Ayatullah Khu'i would travel, because the house of his brother, I think, was not in Najaf. He would travel, stand outside the door and knock on the door. And his brother would not open the door for him. He said, go away, I don't want to see you. Yes? But Sayyid al-Khu'i said, no worries. He comes back. He goes. He comes back. He goes. He comes back. Islahu dhat al-bayn. He wants to correct what? The relationship. Total humility and forgiveness. Because somebody would say, why would he have to do that? He's in the right. He didn't do anything wrong. He said, sorry, I'm not marrying my daughter to you. Is that something wrong? But you see, those who have been schooled under the University of Ali Muhammad, they say, I have to do whatever it takes to please Allah, and I have to shatter the ego that's within me, and I have to seek forgiveness from human beings. Yes. This is what happened. And eventually his brother felt so embarrassed that this man is coming so many times. He came and opened the door, and he forgave him. Even the most stubborn of people will eventually forgive. How beautiful it is in the month of Muharram, in the month of Safar, if we have severed our relationship with anyone out there, if we're not speaking with anyone out there, family members or friends, over small petty issues, for the sake of Allah, in the name of Imam al-Hussein, in the name of Imam al-Sajjad, in the name of Bibi Sakina and all the Shuhada'i Karbala, we say, I'm going to do it because I'm honoring these holy individuals. I'm going to try my best. I'm going to contact that person. I'm going to reignite the relationship. I'm going to send them a gift. I'm going to do whatever it takes for the sake of Allah to restore relationship. Because Amir al-Mu'mineen wa Mawla al-Muttaqeen, Ali ibn Abi Talib, salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayhi. He comes forward and says, Islahu dhatul bayn khayrun min ammat as-salati was-siyam. To correct and to bring people together who are not necessarily speaking with each other is better than prayers and fasting. Because when the community is cohesive, when the community is joined together and it's not fragmented, then the attributes of prayers and salah will be established. Yes? Therefore, the Quran and the religion of Islam highlights this. Then the Imam says, the final quality, the sixth thing that he said we have been given, وَالْمَحَبَّةَ فِي قُلُوبِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. That Allah has placed our love in the hearts of believers. No doubt today, when we see around the world the expression of love and loyalty towards Sayyid al-Shuhada, towards whom? Towards the Ahlulbayt in all its shapes and forms, that people young and old attend majalis, they mourn, they cry, they take part in azadari, they remember what happened on the 10th, as well as the other members of the Ahlulbayt throughout the year, they honor the Ahlulbayt. It is indeed something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala places in the hearts of the believers. The Holy Prophet al-Rasul al-A'zam Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam famously says, إِذَا أَحَبَّ اللَّهُ عَبْدًا قَذَّفَ فِي قَلْبِهِ حُبَّ الْحُسَيْنِ وَحُبَّ زِيَارَتِهِ. If Allah loves a human being, He places in their hearts the love of Hussein and the love of his ziyarah. Yes. Such is an honor that Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala has granted us and has bestowed upon us. Absolutely no doubt. Yes. Imam alayhi salam then says we have been honored with 7 things. The honoring of the 7th thing is what? From us is Rasulullah. From us is whom? Is Amir al-Mu'mineen. From us is Hamza. From us is Ja'far al-Tayyar. From us is Fatima. From us are the Sayyiday Shababi Ahl al-Jannah. And from us is the Mahdi of Ali Muhammad. Salawatullahi wa salam. Then the Imam, when he describes and he says, look, we have been given these qualities. We have been favored by Allah to be in this immaculate progeny, unbelievable family. Then he says what? Then he says, let me tell you who I am. أيها الناس من عرفني فقد عرفني. Any one of you who knows me, knows me. But anyone who doesn't know me, let me tell you who I am. أنا ابن مكة ومنى. أنا ابن زمزم والصفا. He comes to describe, he then goes on to describe who he is and links his personality to wholly established aspects in the religion of Islam, like the Holy Kaaba, for example, like the Holy Prophet, like the Ahlulbayt alayhim salam, like the journey of the Holy Prophet. But when I was looking at the sermon, he describes 13 aspects that he links himself with the Holy Prophet, and 70 aspects that he links himself with Amir al-Mu'mineen. 70, yes? He comes forward and tries to establish the bond with whom? With Amir al-Mu'mineen. Because I tell you, this is a very important pivotal message and a lesson for us to learn on this night. Please understand this lesson. Imam alayhi salam was in an environment charged against the Shia. Imam alayhi salam was in an environment who were showing animosity towards the Ahlul Bayt. He was in a city, arguably the most city in the world at that time that hated Amir al-Mu'mineen. Yes, he was there. What did he do? Did he say, you know what, I'm going to just say I am a follower and I am a grandson of the Prophet and Fatima, and I'm going to keep quiet my identity. I'm not going to tell people who my grandfather is. I'm not going to describe what happened on the 10th of Muharram because I'm scared people might look at me in a wrong way or interpret me in the wrong manner. Or maybe there are people from the Ahl Sunnah, maybe they won't understand. Let me be politically correct and try and somehow be... No. Imam alayhi salam says, I will link myself to the Prophet 13 times. But what I will emphatically do is I will show you that I am proud to be the grandson of none other than Amir al-Mu'mineen, Ali ibn Abi Talib, salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi. Why is this important today? Why does Imam Ali Zayn al-Abidin's stance has so much relevance in our lives today? Number one, his courage in the face of injustice is a powerful lesson for us not to become lazy in the world that is full of injustice and oppression. Meaning what? Meaning today, mashallah, there are brothers and sisters who have indeed developed this wonderful ability to utilize the name of Imam alayhi salam, Sayyid al-Shuhada, to deliver the message in the most beautiful of ways. Yes? to go out to do, for example, humanitarian work, to serve others, to do blood donation, to do whatever it takes to keep the message alive in the name of Imam alayhi salam. Organizations such as Who is Hussein and others, they're doing fantastic work out there. I saw a clip, a brother, may Allah bless him, yesterday showed me the clip of the Who is Hussein that is happening in Houston. They went to the local district, the council there, and what? Because of the hurricane that happened, they said, we have come to present you, we are a group known as Who is Hussein, who remember a man 1400 years ago gave his life for humanity, yes, and sacrificed to stand against injustice and oppression, and we are inspired by him. Therefore, we have come together and have established funds to the amount of $10,000 as a donation for those who have been affected by the hurricane in Houston, yes. People were sitting there, were amazed. They were wearing Who is Hussein shirts. They were introducing Abu Abdullah through universal values. Values that all human beings can connect. This clip and others, when people see, they say, wow, this amazing person has inspired these people to make this contribution. These acts of kindness are so powerful. This is something that we need to develop in our lives. We need to encourage our youths. We need to be active. We need to promote and utilize every opportunity out there to promote the message of the Ahlulbayt by utilizing these very powerful, effective tools, yes? Because when a group of people, brothers, when they distributed water bottles and they placed the name of Abu Abdullah and narrations on the water bottle in New York City, a policeman received one and he went to Twitter, and you know what he said? He said, I have never heard of Hussein ibn Ali before. This was the first time I hear of Hussein ibn Ali. But the first impressions I have is that he must be a man of great importance and kindness, because he has inspired his followers to follow in his footsteps and be kind to other human beings. Can you imagine the powerful message that we can send? Abu Abdullah is not for our mosques. Abu Abdullah is not for our houses. Abu Abdullah is not for the Muslims. Imam al-Hussein is for all of humanity. And indeed, when humanity discovers the power that is Ashura, the universal teachings that is Karbala, they are overwhelmed. Yes, no doubt they ask and ask, and they want to know more and more. One of the scholars says, I was traveling. When I was traveling in Africa, I was wearing my normal scholarly garments like this. He says, I was waiting in Nairobi airport. I was sitting there. All of a sudden, I saw a group of Christian priests. They came. They were also dressed. They sat next to me. They recognized that I am a religious figure. We began to talk. They said to me, we recognize that you are a Muslim who is Shi'i. And I said, yes. They said, let us tell you this. He said, I asked them, where are you from? They said, we are from the Vatican in Italy, in Rome. We are from the Vatican. He said, I asked them, have you heard about Karbala? Have you come across Imam al-Hussein? He said, I saw them, they smiled. I said, why do you smile? They said, we do not have a subject in our library as much covered and as many books than there is in our library about Islam than about Hussein. He said, I was amazed. They said, we have collected every book we can find about this person. Yes. Then I said to them, why? Why do you have this special interest in Hussein? Yes, the Muslim Imam. They said, because of this. He said, I still remember what they said to me. They said to me, if we as Christians, we had a man like Hussein, we would turn the whole world into Christianity. We recognize who this man is. We recognize his influence. We recognize his power. Yes. How he has what? He has mobilized people all throughout history to chant his name and to follow in his footsteps. Today, Abu Abdullah al-Hussein arguably is amongst one of the world's strongest superpowers. Just his name chanted by millions of human beings moves them, and towards what? Towards devotion and acts of sacrifice and dedication. Yes? And this is witnessed in the walk of the Arba'een. This is witnessed all throughout the world by believers who indeed have this relationship with the Imam. Peace and blessings be upon him. That's the first lesson. That means when we see injustice, we speak out. Like what? Like what happens in Myanmar. Yes? We see what happens, for example, when it comes to Yemen. Yes? the oppression that is happening in Yemen, or what is happening in Syria, or what is happening in Pakistan or Afghanistan against the Shia, against other groups, it is of the utmost importance that we don't just sit there and read the news and feel sad about it. Imam alayhi salam said, I have left and I am staging this uprising because I want to enjoin the good and forbid the evil. And that has many levels, yes? It is our responsibility. If we can't do anything, then we fund it. If we can't do anything, then we support it. We mobilize whatever it takes. Similarly, today there is a importance placed upon what? Highlighting Baqi' and the importance of the rebuilding of Jannatul Baqi', no doubt, yes? That the world is silent about it. But we as the followers of Ahlulbayt, we recognize that we have a duty. It doesn't matter that you may think, oh, it may never happen, the Saudis are too strong, and no one will ever listen to us. No, there is a need for us to do whatever it takes to hold indeed ourselves accountable. Allah on the Day of Judgment would say, you had freedom, you had security, you had alhamdulillah health, you had wealth. What did you do with it? How did you use your time? In which way did you make a difference in society? In which way did you influence positively? In which way did you highlight the message of the Ahlulbayt? In which way did you defend sacred places such as Baqi', for example? Yes. Today, the US media, I read a few days ago, New York Times, New York Post, and other newspapers. Do you know the image they give of the Shia fighters in Iraq? They say the Shia militia, they commit so many murders, they are thugs and they are gangs and so on. And they give this negative idea about the Shia fighters who in the last 2 years, thousands of them have given their lives for Abu Abdullah and the shrine of Imam alayhi salam and those in Sham in order to protect the shrines. They are not soldiers like you and I. What? They are normal people that have gone and responded to the call of the Marja'iyah to defend Iraq and humanity from the evil that is Daesh and ISIS. Yes? Why is it that the media is speaking so bad about them? Why is it that we don't have enough influence with the media and say, hold on a minute, why are you speaking like this about these people? Do you know who they are? Let me give you their stories. Let me tell you who they are. Let me tell you of their heroism. Yes? The idea is today we need to be proactive. We need to be out there. We need to introduce these important, valuable messages to the world. Number one. Number two, very importantly, when the Imam alayhi salam speaks about his grandfather Amir al-Mu'mineen, he's telling you and I, we must be people who are proud of our identity, of our belonging to the Ahlulbayt. And therefore, please listen to the next statement, which I said last year, but I will repeat again for those who are not there. Yes? The Maraja' in Najaf, I have heard, yes, them say, at least some of them say, yes, what did they say? They say to the believing brothers and sisters in the West, today is the time for us not to say we are Muslim. Today is the time to introduce ourselves to the world with honor, with pride, with strength, with yaqeen. I am a Shi'i Muslim and a lover of Ali ibn Abi Talib. You say, but why are you causing division? Sunni, Shia identity. We're all Muslim brothers. We're all, alhamdulillah, together. No doubt. Alhamdulillah. We stand with our brothers and sisters. We visit them. We are in a harmonious relationship, in a loving relationship with the brothers and sisters from other schools of thought. That is not a problem. We have been the advocates of unity for 1400 years. We have been stabbed in the back many times and continue to do so. But we still call for unity. But unity is one thing. Identity is another. Our identity is the Shia of Ali. We have to speak to people and say, I'm the Shia of Ali. I am the follower of Ahlulbayt. I don't care what other Muslims do in the name of Islam. Some of them believe in Shura. I believe in Imamat. Why should I be grouped in the same ideology that has resulted in ISIS and Daesh and Al-Qaeda and Boko Haram and other terrorist organizations? That has nothing to do with me. My master is Ali and he teaches peace. Therefore, today what? The message is of great importance. The message is this, that our identity needs to be presented to the world. Yes? We are the followers of Ahlulbayt. We are Shia Muslims who have our own methodology, who have our own leaders, who have our own fiqh, who have our own theology. We are advocates of Islamic unity, but at the same time, we must protect and preserve our identity. Our children must have the strength to be able to say, I am a Shia, I'm not intimidated, I'm not scared, I'm not going to be mocked or ridiculed by anybody. Somebody might say, why? Why do you have to do this? What is the importance of it? Why can't you just say, yes, that you are a Muslim? Let me tell you this. When you and I travel to many places around the world, yes, often we require a visa to enter a country. Often we are with passports, and we enter into a country, there is a passport control. Imagine if you go to a country with a passport, with no visa to enter. You give them the passport, they open it, they say, where is the visa? You look at them and say, don't cause division. We are all human beings. Why are you trying to say I'm different than you? Why are you giving me an identity? I don't need a visa. I am like you. Let me enter. They will look at you and say, go back to your country. Yes? Now, for me, my visa to Jannah is Ali ibn Abi Talib. I will do whatever it takes to hold on to that rope of salvation. Yes? Whatever it takes to keep that identity solid and indeed alive when it comes to books, when it comes to websites, when it comes to satellite channels, when it comes to activities and effective work out there. I must identify myself as the follower of the Ahlulbayt so that I inspire others to research about the Ahlulbayt alayhum salam and to discover the greatness of Ali Muhammad. And that's why indeed when we honor the fourth holy Imam, he would recite this wonderful sermon. But towards the end of the sermon, Yazid could no longer tolerate the Imam speaking. And that's why he asked someone to recite the adhan. When he begins to recite the adhan, he says, Ashhadu, he says first of all, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Imam alayhi salam, indeed, who is still giving the sermon, says, I bear witness, yes, that Allah is what? Is my Lord, and I am His servant, yes, and that He is greater than being described. Then when the mu'adhin says, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Imam alayhi salam says, I bear witness, and every particle of my existence, every single drop of blood in my body testifies to the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When the mu'adhin says, I bear witness that Muhammad is the messenger of Allah, the Imam alayhi salam, that moment looked towards Yazid and said, this prophet, is he your grandfather or my grandfather? If you say that he is your grandfather, yes, you are a liar. If you say he is my grandfather, how dare you shed the blood of his own grandson on the plains of Karbala? Yes. How dare you do what you did, yes, and deprive his family from water? How dare you remove the hijab from his daughters, yes? Such was Imam alayhi salam. Such was his emphasis upon the masa'ib and the grief that he would continuously stage and present the story of Karbala to people. He would narrate what happened on the 10th of Muharram. Despite the animosity, a man who is elderly approaches him, curses him in Sham. Imam alayhi salam looks at him and says, have you read the Quran? He said, yes. He said, have you read the verse, قُلْ لَا أَسْأَلُكُمْ عَلَيْهِ أَجْرًا إِلَّا الْمَوَدَّةَ فِي الْقُرْبَى. I ask you for nothing except to show love towards my family. He says, yes. He says, oh man, we are the family of the Prophet. Yes, we are the Ahlulbayt. This and other individuals begin to recognize whom the Imam alayhi salam is. But undoubtedly the pain and the suffering that the Imam went through on this journey was something that truly hurt him. Because they would ask him, Ya ibn Rasulillah, what was the most painful thing you went through? He would say, Ash-Sham, Ash-Sham, Ash-Sham. Sham. Yes, it is so painful for Imam Zayn al-Abidin to see Sayyida Zainab, to see the children, to see the women chained and whipped. Imam Zayn al-Abidin would say, we are paraded on the streets of Kufa. They would laugh at us, they would mock us, they would throw rocks at us. Then we were paraded in the streets of Sham. People would see that we are slaves. Some of them would want to take some of the daughters of Imam as slaves. They kept us in a dungeon which was open, and the heat of the sun would strike us during the day. They were ones who were depriving us from the basics of integrity. One narration says when the Imam was on his way to Sham, when he entered Sham, there was a man who was known to be a companion of the Prophet. He saw Imam Zayn al-Abidin. He asked Imam Zayn al-Abidin, what would you like me to do? Is there anything you need? Imam says, oh Sahel, give me a piece of cloth. This man said, why do you want a piece of cloth? He said, I want to place it between the chains that are digging into my flesh and into my neck. The chains that were around the neck of Imam Zayn al-Abidin, yes, they were digging into his flesh. He wanted some cloth to place it. The chains that were what? Upon the hands of the Imam. The 12th Holy Imam and Ziyaratul Nahiya, he says, I bear witness, they did not tie you with ropes, they tied you with metal. Yes, these metal would dig into your flesh. Such was the pain that the Imam alayhi salam had to endure. He had to endure losing his sister, the young daughter of Aba Abdullah, in the dungeons of Yazid. He had to endure seeing the head of Aba Abdullah being carried on a spear. He had to endure the head of Imam al-Hussein being poked. He had to endure the women of the Ahlulbayt being deprived of their hijab. He had to endure all this and more. That's why Imam Muhammad al-Baqir, his son, says, when it came to what? When it came to the final moments of the life of my father, Zayn al-Abidin, when it came to the poison that has spread his body, I sat next to him. I began to cry and weep. I began to look at him. At that moment, I hugged him. When I hugged him, I saw him weep and cry even more. I said to him, Father, why is it that you cry? Why is it that you're weeping when I am hugging you? Imam Zayn al-Abidin says, my son Muhammad, you are next to me. You are bidding your farewell to me. But I remembered there was no one next to my father, Aba Abdullah. He was all alone on the plains of Karbala. No one was next to him. No one to bid him farewell. Imam al-Baqir says, at that moment, I indeed went and hugged my father even more. I began to cry. I hugged him on his chest. Imam Zayn al-Abidin cried even more. I said, Father, what happened? He said, my son, you are hugging me on my chest. And I remembered who sat on the chest of my father, Hussein. Imam al-Baqir says, when I washed the body of my father Zayn al-Abidin, I saw so many marks on his back. I saw so many marks on his shoulders. I came to know these were the whips of Shimher. They were the strikes of the enemies. Allahu Akbar. Indeed, the Imam alayhi salam, indeed he would remember the masa'ib of Aba Abdullah. ألا لعنة الله على القوم الظالمين وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلب والعاقبة للمتقين وإنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. A night which is the night of the anniversary of the shahadat of the Imam. The Imam alayhi salam is known for his supplications, for his devotion to Allah, for his Sahif al-Sajjadiyya, for Risalatul Huquq. Indeed, you and I and honored to remember the Imam in this way and to honor his legacy and his life. It's a night to also ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the fulfillment of our hajat. There are many brothers and sisters, many mu'mineen and mu'minat, who've asked us to remember them in dua and to supplicate to Allah to alleviate their suffering and fulfill their wishes. Let's raise our hands. 5 times we recite Ayatul Mubarakah for the shifa of the mu'mineen and mu'minat and for the qada'ul hajat. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء 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 يا الله يا الله يا الله يا الله يا الله يا الله شافي مرضانا بحق مريض كربلاء زين العابدين. ماتم حسين يا حسين.
आबद बीमार की आँखों से खून रुकता नहीं आबद बीमार की आँखों से खून रुकता आबद बीमार की आँखों से खून रुकता जिसको ज़ैनब के लिए जिसको ज़ैनब के लिए पर्दा कहीं मिलता नहीं आबिदे बीमार की आँखों से खून रुकता नहीं आबिदे बीमार की आँखों से खून रुकता नहीं देखो ना मेरा तमाशा तो के आबिद ने कहा साथ मेरे आई है होके वो कैदी बेरदा नंगे सर जिसको कभी नंगे सर जिसको कभी बाबा ने भी देखा नहीं आबिदे बीमार की आँखों से खून रुकता नहीं आबिदे बीमार की आँखों से खून रुकता नहीं कैसी सहमी है सकीना खून कानों से रवां पूछती दिखला के आबिद को तमाचों के निशान कब वतन में जाएंगी कब वतन में जाएंगे कोई यहाँ अपनी नहीं आबिदे बीमार की आँखों से खून रुकता नहीं आबिदे बीमार की आँखों से खून रुकता नहीं जिद न करना तुम सकीना सफर में ज़ैनब के साथ पहलू में सो जाना बेटी जब भी हो जाएगी रात लौट घर आएगा लौट घर आएगा बेटा तेरा बाबा नहीं आबिदे बीमार की आँखों से खून रुकता नहीं आबिदे बीमार की आँखों से खून रुकता नहीं हुसैन या Hussein, 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 Hussein.
السلام عليك يا رسول الله، السلام عليك يا أمير المؤمنين، السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء سيدة نساء العالمين، السلام عليك يا حسن المجتبى، السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأئمة المعصومين من ذريتك، سيدنا سيما سيدنا ومولانا صاحب العصر والزمان، عجل الله تعالى فرجه وسهل مخرجه وجعلنا من أعوانه وأنصاره ومن المستشهدين بين يديه. السلام عليكم يا أهل بيت النبوة وموضع الرسالة ورحمة الله وبركاته.
मोमिनीन उधर उर्दू हाल में ताबूत बरामद होने जा रहा है कि जो मोमिनीन ज़ियारत करना चाहते हैं वो उस हाल में तशरीफ़ ले जाएं।